It's coffee break. Welcome back. Another week of us just babbling at you in your ear.
Yeah, there's the announcements are like slowing down. I was wrong. I don't know if I said it during coffee break.
I think you did.
But I kept saying this week was San Diego Comic-Con. It's not. It's 2 weeks from now.
So the end of July.
Yeah, it's the 24th to the 27th, somewhere in there.
Well, the reason why they slowed down in announcements, the video games already did all their stuff.
Yes.
Right? And now we're waiting for the Comic-Con stuff, which will be Marvel and DC.
Yeah.
Marvel and DC will also have their movies out by then. Mm-hmm. All right, Superman this weekend, and then next week.
Also, like 2 days before Comic-Con is the Pokemon Presents.
Yeah.
So it's similar. It is still E3 season, just not all at once. It's now scattered randomly.
Well, what I was also getting to is things are coming out now.
Yes.
So there's also a slowdown to watch and appreciate what's coming out. Mm-hmm. You know. Okay, well, I'll start.
Okay.
It's a hot Wednesday.
It is. It is so hot.
I was sitting outside and I was sweating. I could feel the sweat dripping off from my upper torso, dripping down onto like my stomach.
Yeah.
And then I stopped sweating. That's how hot it was out there.
Oh,
I got dehydrated from sitting in the shade.
Ugh. Like I stepped outside to like walk the dogs, and I out loud said, "Oh, gross," because of how hot it was.
Mm-hmm. I was able to spike my own hair.
Ew.
So, Twisted Metal Season 2.
Yeah.
Anthony Mackie's opus magnum. At least he thought it was.
He sure did. He had like a 15-minute speech during the video game awards for it.
And then he lost it.
Yeah. I mean, we watched the whole first season in one day.
In one day. That's 10 hours, by the way.
Yeah. Nothing else happened that day. It was the longest day.
It was a very long day. It's them playing around in the that one episode where it's like a fast food restaurant and there's the balls in a pool.
Yeah, the pool ball pit. Yeah. It wasn't bad, but I didn't think it was getting a second season.
It was Emmy nominated. People did watch this.
That also got a lot of really good actors. Like Ryan Reynolds voices that one guy, Stu, I think his name was.
No.
The dude with the clown mask?
No. That's not Ryan Reynolds.
Ooh, nope, it's Will Arnett.
Not even close. They don't even look alike.
No, they don't. That's just my bad.
And they're two white guys.
And I know, I would know the difference.
Yeah.
I'm just bad with names.
So all the episodes again drop at one time, July 31st on Peacock.
I'm sure we'll similarly just sit down and watch the whole thing in one day. a lazy weekend when nothing else is going on.
It will probably be August 2nd when I sit down and watch all of it.
Hell yeah.
But when I played Twisted Metal as a kid, never played the story. We just drive around the arenas trying to blow each other up. Mm-hmm. So I don't know what the actual story is for this character, Mephisto.
I have no idea.
Manifesto? Anyways, I don't know. All I saw was Axel. So I am yawning. Axel. Did you see Axel?
No. Who's Axel?
Everybody wanted him in season 1 because he's the most ridiculous driver.
Which one was he?
Or racer. He's the guy who's standing up with his arms out and legs out and giant wheels on each side.
He did look pretty intense.
Yeah. He's not. He's just a stupid design.
Oh, well.
Well, think about it. If you he's exposed. If you got a vehicle of guns.
I guess, yeah. He's not... Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't even know Twisted Metal was a game until the first season was coming out last year. Because it was like, oh, it's a video game adaptation. I was like, is it? Of what?
Hopefully this one's good.
Yeah,
I'm coming in hoping for a 3 out of 5 star kind of ratio.
Yeah, more fun, I'm hoping.
Yeah.
Us trying to be dramatic. Yeah. It's a funny cast, so they could really ham it up. Go real goofy with it.
Yeah, but the quipping's gotten out of hand.
It has. I mean, you know what? I'd take quipping over... the attempted, improving, you know?
Isn't that what quipping is?
No, I feel like a quip can be written and be good and memorable. I feel like the improving is attempt to quip, but on the spot, and it's just like pressuring the comedians to be funny now. And I feel like it never really works out. I think the female Ghostbusters is a good example of that.
Man, you love dragging this thing through the slime, don't you?
I think it's an okay movie, but all the comedy falls flat because it's clearly just like actresses in the scene trying to come up with something in the moment.
Yeah. Yeah, it is crazy because you look at that cast and you're like, they're all freaking bangers, you know?
Yeah.
But for some reason, they just did not gel.
I also...
Even Chris Hemsworth, who's their secretary, he's funny, he's cute, but he's not like as good as he could be. I've seen him do better, you know?
They are funny. When they have a script, they could be funny with a script.
Yeah.
When you ask them to be funny. It's a bigger task that doesn't always work with like a structured narrative around you.
Yeah. I would say it's still as funny as Bridesmaids, which most of them were in, and it's directed by the same guy. But
yeah,
it just...
And I like improv comedy. I watched the hell out of both versions of Whose Line Is It Anyway, which is all improv. But I think improv comedy is a completely different style of comedy that doesn't have lasting power, except for small moments of greatness.
What is it? Thomas Middleditch and Ben Schwartz.
Yeah.
So the guy who does the T-Mobile commercials.
Yeah, he hasn't done that in ages.
I know. Well, he used to. And then...
Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah, the guy who voices Sonic. They did an improv thing on Netflix. We've talked about this before, but if you haven't seen it, the first episode's great. The second episode, they went there.
Yeah.
And you're like, you're dying. You're like, come on, go there. And they kept going.
And that's the fun of improv. But if you tried to take that and do the same exact thing, but in like a scripted, like sitcom style...
Oh, you'd see the twist coming.
It would not work.
It wouldn't.
So...
Nah.
That's my rant, I suppose.
Nice.
Anyway, Twisted Metal, looking forward to.
Well, today we get to celebrate the return of HBO Max.
Yay!
Hi.
Welcome
back.
The most embarrassing turn of events in all of recent media. I can't imagine. Oh my god.
I was listening to a different podcast. I know. It was a paranormal one. And they were talking about where they could find The Conjuring, right? Which The Conjuring's produced by Warner Brothers.
Yes.
And so one of them was like, yeah, it's on Max. And the other one was like, no, it's HBO Max now. And they're like, this is so confusing. And what a terrible marketing strategy. And it just all like imploded out of them because they were like a marketing major.
Yeah.
So they're like, I don't know what they were thinking.
They were a household name.
Yeah.
Everyone knew HBO.
HBO is still a household name.
And people still call it HBO.
Yeah. No.
And it's like, Max, that's just a character from like any 90s show ever.
Yeah. I think I'm the only one who actually called it Max when they were like, no, we're just Max. And then, like, I told you, it's Man of Steel was on Max. And I was like, my bad, HBO Max.
Yeah.
Like, I have to fix what... This is ridiculous. You guys screwed up so bad.
That was so much money for them to just reset everything back to the beginning.
Yep.
It's crazy. Well done, Warner Brothers. You're really knocking it out of the park.
My biggest concern for this split...
With Max and Warner Brothers?
Okay, Max.
Discovery.
Yes.
Yeah.
Discovery and Warner Brothers. I'm not too worried about Warner Brothers. They've got things like Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, and all of DC.
Yeah.
And the Looney Tunes, if they're willing to accept the past. I don't know what's so hard to know.
They keep making such bad decisions. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if they screwed all those things over too.
Yeah, exactly. But then I look at Discovery and I'm like, I like Discovery. That's where I used to get all my ghost shows. That's where I get TOC, to Tournament of Champions. That's where we get House Flippers.
But those are
Love It or List It.
Also on other things.
Because of how bad this merger was.
That's so embarrassing.
Yeah.
That's insane.
So I want Discovery to come away as unbeaten.
They could rise up.
Yeah.
Bigger, stronger.
Like, you've lost some pieces. I know. I saw it. I lived through it. I was upset. But start again.
Yes.
Rebuild. Or even better, You really want a mommy and daddy who's going to take care of you?
Uh-huh.
Paramount
It's true.
or Universal.
Very true.
In fact, we were talking about how Paramount and Universal have been very quiet from the headlines.
They have been.
And the reason why is because they're making money. There's no drama in making money.
Which one has Yellow Jackets?
Yellow Jackets is Paramount.
Yeah. Is the new season, did it come out?
Yeah.
Or is it going to come out?
Pretty sure it already came out.
Ah!
We'll get there.
I want it.
And then Universal just had a major weekend at the box office. It was something about dinosaurs.
That's the thing. We talk about Warner Brothers so much on this podcast.
Warner Brothers and Disney, yes.
Because they're the ones who keep making mistakes.
Yes.
You don't want... If people are talking about you, bad.
So I always wanted to work for Warner Brothers because of DC.
It's also... It used to be so prestigious.
It was. Especially during the time of Scorsese and his big, mafia movies. Or the Harry Potter.
They had any kids movie, cornered.
Yeah, Lord of the Rings. Whenever you saw that WB emblem with the ring around it twisting inside, the gyroscopic effect going on.
In your heart, you're like, I'm in for a good one.
We're here, we're going to get an adult treat, you know? Because when you see the castle, Cinderella's castle, and the light goes over the star,
Yeah.
you're like, it's going to be a kid's movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, Duster. Duster was J.J. Abrams' new project to come back. He produced this show for HBO Max.
What's it about? I haven't even heard of this.
I talked about it briefly. I said I wanted to watch it. It doesn't matter. It got canceled.
Dang.
So, even Warner Brothers has denied J.J. Abrams' return.
Boo, go away. No one even wants you.
I just thought it's funny that, no matter what they do, right? I always turn around when I'm trying to do research for this podcast, and I just see 1,000 red flags, and I'm like, what? You're supposed to have you're supposed to break the box office this weekend with Superman.
I know.
And it's not looking good beyond that.
It's also, I don't know if this is on your list of stuff. We noticed it yesterday. There's been a huge uptick of marketing for Fantastic Four.
Yes.
Way more trailers. A lot of, crossover, like with Little Caesars and whatever.
Yes.
And I'm nervous for them.
Well, okay, you want to talk about that a little bit?
Sure.
So, when it came to marketing with the MCU, it was a big gamble for them to even make Iron Man, yet alone make 4 more movies on top of that in order to get to the Avengers, right? But Iron Man worked out.
Yes. Clearly.
Yeah, one of the cool things in Iron Man that you'll notice is when he comes back from the desert, right? And they're supposed to announce he's healthy, he's fine,
the first thing
safe.
he does, he asks for what is it, Burger King or McDonald's?
Cheeseburger.
Yeah.
And he has Burger King, and he's sitting at the bottom of the podium, literally opening up a Whopper to eat it, right?
It's great marketing.
It's great marketing. Marvel needed help. They had to take out a gigantic loan. They had to team up with Paramount. The Phase 1 isn't Disney.
No.
It's Paramount.
It's also a shocking, they're swiping in your face, here's your bag of food, and then he grabs his food and he's eating his food. It's being so in your face, it feels so in the universe too.
Yeah.
So well done.
And then you get to Thor, right? And Thor had some Burger King stuff. They even had a commercial.
Yes.
With the Destroyer? Is that what it's called?
I don't remember.
I used to remember its name. The giant metal thing that shoots beams out of his eyes.
Yeah.
Anyways, there was Burger King stuff for that. I'm not too sure about Cap.
I don't think.
Not many people saw Cap in theaters.
It's also Cap's so old. If it was going to be anything, it would have been just on the billboards at the very end of the movie.
Yeah.
I bet Coca-Cola.
Yeah. Eventually, as they started building up, they started getting all this money. And then it allowed them to really branch out and merchandise the crap out of everything, right?
But we haven't really seen something with this much heavy marketing.
Yeah.
In a while.
I was going to say the last time we saw anything with this much success was Black Panther 1. And I want to use Guardians as an example also, just because of that LP.
Yes.
The soundtrack is one of the highest selling records recently in the last decade.
Yeah.
Great job. But yeah, it's concerning that here we're looking at the Fantastic Four. This is, in my lifetime, it's been the 3rd iteration of them. I don't care. I'm going to be honest. I'm just sick and tired of seeing these actors.
I really wish.
Except for Vanessa Kirby. I don't remember much of her.
I like all these actors. I like them a lot. I want to see more. I wish I cared more.
I never said I disliked them. I said I'm sick of seeing them.
There's a weird thing with all the marketing. Who God knows if the actual movie's gonna look this way. But I don't like how, like, desaturated everything is outside of the Fantastic Four. Like, you see the cityscape and they're doing their thing and running around and whatever, and everything's just this, like, beige, like desaturated, and it's probably to make the blue of their suits pop a lot more. But it just gives this kind of, like,
but isn't that
like
the point?
Depressing vibe.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Isn't that the point of the white on their outfits?
I would think so.
It kind of, like, highlights the blue.
I don't know, the original, like, our classic one from our childhood with Chris Evans as Johnny.
Yes.
They made it work perfectly fine, and that movie is saturated to hell.
By the way, rest in peace, Dr. Doom.
Yeah, that was really sad.
That sucks. I'm sorry, you didn't get to see the new movie.
He was a good actor.
I wish that he could compare notes with Robert Downey Jr. Why not?
I keep forgetting that's going to be a thing.
Yeah. Anyways, so the Little Caesars commercial. Here's my problem. Mm-hmm. Besides, I don't want to see another Marvel movie. We see this, like, giant kaiju monster thing pop out of the ground.
I know something about this. Apparently, it's like a classic Fantastic Four enemy.
Cool.
And from what I've seen, it's not confirmed to be in the movie. It's just for this commercial.
Okay. Because I was like, you already have a gigantic thing to fight. It's called Galactus.
No, things on the good guy's side.
Silly me.
No, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's just for
I oughta clobber you.
I'm pretty sure it's just for the one commercial, because it also looks Play-Doh-y.
Yeah.
And I know Disney has really low standards for CG, but this one looks a little bit different.
I'm also like, hold on. Basically, the D-Rex is a kaiju.
Yes.
From Jurassic World Rebirth. And then we know Superman fights a kaiju.
Yeah. Kaiju's are making the comeback. Thanks,
never,
Godzilla.
They never went away.
No, I know.
Americans just refuse to accept the truth.
Yes.
They have zero imagination.
God, I love kaijus. They're fun.
Okay, moving on. AMC, the movie theaters.
Yes.
If you're a ticket stub holder, it's for their rewards program. They're now offering half off movie prices on Tuesdays and Wednesdays.
I agree with this.
Yes.
I'm on board.
There is a little thing that I didn't talk about maybe last week or 2 weeks ago with AMC, because they hadn't announced this cool discount yet.
Yeah.
But they said before the movies start playing, they're going to, like, drag it out to almost half an hour of ads.
Yeah.
Before you even start the damn thing.
In fact, I saw that they're going to start posting the time the movie starts.
Yep.
Like when the lights dim, but then the time the ads are over and the actual movie starts, because it's such a big discrepancy.
Yes.
We're
talking about half an hour of your life discrepancy.
I mean, it gives you time to be late, I suppose.
Yeah, but okay, say you go once a week, 4 weeks a month.
Yeah.
That's 2 hours. Right,
yeah.
That's just 2 hours.
I guess in my mind, you would show up late. Like, you would show up 30 minutes late.
And now we're in the practice of non-practice.
Again, then that causes issues of people stumbling in the dark, trying to find their seats.
Yep.
It is, well, I do agree with the half ticket prices on Tuesday and Wednesday, because one of the biggest, we've spoken many times about our complaints about movie theaters. A big one is the price.
Yes.
It's bananas these days.
So we looked out where we live. There's a local theater chain. They only have like 4.
Yeah.
And it's only around us. And every Tuesday, tickets are $5.
It's a great deal.
So,
but also, everyone shows up.
Yeah, so we get usually the special kids.
Yep. A lot of groups, a lot of packs.
Yep.
You know, like moms with 12 kids for birthday parties and whatnot.
Yep. And the seating's not that great, but I mean, it's got mini golf, it's got a full bowling alley, walk-up bar,
yeah, I would choose
a grill,
AMC
arcade
for comfort. If I wanted like a really nice experience, I would choose an AMC.
Yeah.
But if I want a good deal, I would choose this place.
Yeah.
But this half-price thing,
I know. It's interesting. I just wanted to tell people that there are options, cheaper options for you to watch shows. I like AMC. Every time I've been to an AMC, I feel like I've been treated.
There's only been one time I didn't have a good experience at an AMC, but I think it was our fault. It's because we watched Welcome to Raccoon City.
Yeah, we got way too close to the screen.
Yeah, we goofed up. We were too close to the lights on the bottom to like show you where to walk, and it made it hard to see the screen.
And it's crazy because I bought it on Amazon, and it's still the same.
We finally rewatched it after all these years, and I'm like, oh, I wasn't crazy. Yeah. I can't.
It really
see
is
anything.
just that dark. Okay, we got a behind-the-scenes photo of the new Avengers Doomsday.
Oh yeah.
And it looked like Torres, Cap's new Falcon,
Cool.
but his back was turned to us. He's only wearing like his chest piece, his back piece,
Okay.
which was like in the color of the Endgame Avengers, that white, gray, burgundy.
Weird.
You know what I'm talking about?
Uh-huh.
And then we saw Cuz as a thing.
Nice.
Of course, nothing was going on there. He's just strapped in with weird polka dot stripes and wires.
Is there validity to this? Because sometimes people will try to post like AI images to be like, look, it's behind the scenes.
It was so poorly taken. Like, I was like, this is a legitimate photo. Because then the third person in the photo was Wyatt.
Russell?
Yeah, Wyatt Russell.
Some like intern or
But
like
he's
a
like-
person who dropped off food is like, oh my god, and like
Yeah.
just flash their camera really
But
quickly.
he's like leaning over a like control bar thing. Everything else, okay, look, the environment was empty. There was a frame of what looked like it could have been a ship.
Okay.
And then beyond that, it was just blue because it's all just going to be CGI.
Yep.
So even if we saw what the scene looked like, right?
Yeah.
Which obviously they weren't. Cuz was just standing there reading whatever his script was, just looking at somebody like the AD way off, you know? I knew that they weren't going to get it done in time for next year. Because I was like, it's a lot of CGI you're talking about.
I hate how that's like the practice now. Announce for 1 year, delay till the next year, actually release it later that year.
Yep.
And I hate that that's like just common nowadays.
Well,
Disney.
A lot of these companies still are thinking the old way, where they're like, you just film it, you edit it, you throw it together, it's good.
Well,
Bada boom, bada bing.
Well, back in the old way, you filmed all the stuff practically.
Mm-hmm.
They don't think about... It's like the same time for filming, but they don't think about the time it takes to CG in all the garbage around everything. Yeah. Old man...
Also,
men keeping control of Hollywood.
Most of the movies and TV shows coming out today have a degree of CGI.
Yes.
There's a lot
of fantasy.
I'm not talking about like title credits or end credits or anything like that. If there's like an explosion,
yes,
right? It's not going to be as big as it looks on the screen.
A lot of backgrounds. Like, we'll get to it, but we watched Sandman Season 2, and, like, everything was clearly on a set.
Well, that's based on a comic book by a drug addict and some other things.
I think there's other clever... Like, I like how Wednesday, because Season 2 is going to start next month.
Mm-hmm.
I like how they did...
She's our next emo girl.
Yeah. I like how they did the thing. That's like a real person. They're just wearing all a green suit. Except for their hand.
Mm-hmm.
And she's often like if she touches it, it's his hand.
Yeah.
There's also a fake plastic version and an all CG version.
Yeah.
But, you know.
Well, in this case, it would be like BB-8.
Yes.
There's different robots, droids, to they're puppets, really, let's be honest, to do certain things, you know? That would make sense. I just wanted to talk about the Avengers, and I was just like, who cares? Like, it's not enough to keep going. Like, oh, these characters are in the same scene. Yeah, it's called the Avengers. Get over it.
Yeah. It's like, what? The selling point is the thing?
Yeah, you ever turn on Marvel vs. Capcom? Oh my god, Venom's here. Okay. Craziest moment of coffee break.
I'm ready.
Peter Jackson.
Okay.
The director.
Yes.
Of King Kong.
Yes, he did.
Yes.
I forget about that.
And Red Wings.
Red Wings?
Yeah, because he's obsessed with like World War I or World War II dogfighters.
That explains a lot.
Yeah. Well, he's not only obsessed with the Lord of the Rings, but he's also obsessed with ancient birds.
Cool.
I thought this was interesting. It was crazy enough, and I was like, we talked about the dire wolves earlier.
We did.
This will tie back into it. So Peter Jackson wants to resurrect an extinct bird from 600 years ago from the island of New Zealand.
Okay.
Why can't I remember their names?
What? What?
The people who used to live there.
Oh.
The people who still live there, the indigenous ones. I know them as Kiwis.
I don't remember.
Mori?
Oh, and if I heard it,
It should be the Mori.
I don't remember.
I'm sorry if I screwed that up. Anyways, these people, indigenous people, lived with something called the giant moa.
Okay. That's a bird?
It's a bird.
I don't like this.
It's a flightless bird.
Worse.
They ranged from the size of turkeys.
Okay.
Okay. Turkeys are horrible. I have nightmares of them. I love Thanksgiving, but in a very different way.
They make thudding noises with their feathers.
They want to kill you for existing.
Turkeys are mean, not as mean as geese. Geese will fuck you up.
Yes. I have more stories about geese than turkeys.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways. And then there was a southern variant on the island, right? Mm-hmm. That could grow over 6 feet tall.
Why are we doing this? Peter, when we started this section, I thought it was going to be about a movie, like to compete with Jurassic World, where it's dinosaurs, but more realistic.
No, so they have a cultural significance to the island and the people.
What happened to them?
They ate them all.
Dang.
So the problem with
just
them,
like
because
Killa
they're...
Killa
Bombay.
Yes.
And more like the dodo. How the Europeans came up on the dodo and they're like, that's a big bird. And then the dodo was like, we can't fly or swim much, so we'll just sit here. And they're like, we'll kill them and eat them.
I mean, yeah.
So that's what they did. It was a source of protein and it helped progress this culture and society further along. It probably attributes to their size as well.
Probably. I think this is a bad idea. I'm going to be honest.
Well, he's teaming up with a company in Texas, which is a bad idea, called Colossal Biosciences.
That sounds fake. That's a video game. That is a video game evil company.
Yes, I was like, if this doesn't give you Umbrella vibes right away, I don't know what else could.
It's like, and over here with the DED, the Dead Factory.
Yeah, right. Anyways, they helped make the direwolf.
See, here's the thing. Reintroducing or introducing any species into any environment, especially one as, like, specifically guarded as New Zealand,
yeah,
that's not gonna go well. You can't introduce a new thing to an environment. It will either die immediately or kill something else in too much excess, which will have entire rippling effects. This is basic bioscience, guys.
Yep. Which is also fun because that's Jurassic Park, Jurassic World, right?
Yes.
Proper. That's what they are. Here's the thing. When I was reading more about the dire wolves, what they did with the dire wolf is they took its genetic sequence and put it into a gray wolf.
Yeah.
But they only gave birth to gray wolves. The gray wolves have this genetic sequence in them.
Yeah.
So the argument this isn't a new species. It's a genetically engineered gray wolf.
In theory, could go on and, like,
yes,
evolve further.
Yes.
In theory.
In theory.
I don't know. I still don't think it's a good idea.
I think this is their whole point with the giant moa, is trying to redo this whole thing. Maybe plump up the size of birds.
I mean, I suppose.
Well, think about how much chicken Americans consume. It's ungodly.
God, it would be horrible if this was all just a sick capitalistic twist on it all.
Well, have you seen Okja?
Okja?
Okja.
Oh, I have.
Okay. Yeah, Okja.
No, thank you.
Okja is about genetically modified pigs to grow bigger and larger and be dumber so that they're an easily accessible food source for humanity, the ever-growing population and demand for food.
Yeah. I just feel like this is one step from taking it too far. Next thing you know, we're going to bring back the woolly mammoth, and then we're really going to be screwed.
So that's the one you're scared of?
No, there are others, but I felt like the woolly mammoth was a good baseline of, you need to stop there.
Here's my thing. I was going, when do we get to the giant sloths? Because that's when I call quits.
Giant sloths are more like bears than sloths.
Yeah, except for they have the 3 giant blades on them.
Huge, huge.
And
monsters.
the sloths that act like bears with giant claws. Mm-hmm. That's lovely.
That's,
They're also 8 to 9 feet tall.
That's literally a monster in Monster Hunter.
Yeah, don't want that. Live action Hot Wheels. Were you asking for it?
No.
Doesn't matter. It's on its way. They found the director, John M. Chu, who's also known for if you wanted to make a toy movie.
Yeah. About cars and stuff?
About cars.
I would start looking at like people who did like Formula One. Maybe some people behind Pixar's Cars.
What about like Need for Speed?
Yep. Fast and Furious.
Yep. Talladega Nights.
There's many car movies.
Days of Thunder.
Yes, even that. Hot Rod.
Yes. So what is John M. Chu known for? He made Crazy Rich Asians.
I don't even.
And Wicked Part 1 and Wicked Too Good.
What?
For Good, sorry.
What? What? First of all, there's no cars in Wicked.
He said he's a Hot Wheels fan. And I was like, John, for your sake, I hope so. Because this doesn't make sense. You're going to make this a rom-com?
You know what? I've completely changed my mind. I'm so ready for the gay-lesbian romance and the political, like power struggle between the rich and the poor. Yeah. If we have anything based off of his prior works, suddenly the cars aren't the important part. They're just the thing that carries us together.
It's like a high fantasy version of Pixar's Cars.
I'd be
Hot Wheels.
So into that.
Take a knee.
Yeah, we do need dinosaurs and sharks and flames.
20th Century Fox is working on a remake of Night at the Museum.
Hell yes. I'm here for this. About time. We have so much more history we can play around with.
The only thing I would hope, if you're going to try and follow that similar story, is try to add the Pharaoh more into the first one.
Yeah.
Because there is a 4th one.
Or tell a different story, where it doesn't have to involve a pharaoh. Who was Rami Malek, by the way?
You gotta start somewhere, right?
He was a baby. You can't even recognize him.
He started in a sarcophagus, and then he ended killing James Bond.
Yeah. Remember when he was in...
And then he became an amateur after that.
Remember when he was in The Legend of Korra?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Tano rocks.
I like Night at the Museum. Night at the Museum 2 wasn't that great. Night at the Museum 3,
no.
Hardly remember it. I only watched it for Robin Williams, but that was just a sad thing.
I don't think I even watched the third one. I really like the first one. The first one's a classic. The first one's iconic. I think we could play around with more history. I hope, if anything, Owen Wilson and the guy who plays the Roman soldier come back to, like,
Octavius.
to play, like, older characters, but same thing.
It was Jedediah and Octavius.
I would love that.
Yeah.
That's my one hope. But I'm so into this. I think this is great.
One of my favorite things about those characters is their names are very powerful names.
Yes.
Right? For their time.
Yeah.
Right? And then you just see these 2 goofballs, a Roman soldier and a gunslinger, just trying to figure... But they're also miniatures.
It's one of my favorite... It's the only funny joke I remember from the second one, where they're like, we need to get there! And they're running and screaming, then we cut to a wide shot, and you just see nothing but, like, the lawn. And then cut back to them running and screaming, then go back to the wide shot. And you see, like, a blade of grass move.
Yeah.
Great stuff. 10 out of 10. I'm so into this. I think this could be super fun.
So it's way too early to call anything. We don't know if it'll be live action or animated, like the 4th movie.
They tried to do an animated thing, huh?
Yeah, which had more to do with the Pharaoh.
That makes sense.
That's why I'm saying add more of the Pharaoh if we're going to do this.
Yeah.
Also, if you're going to talk about historical context, I don't know why you would want to change it up from a Pharaoh, because every time they move on to, like, a Chinese emperor... It fails.
You talking about The Mummy?
Yes. I'm using one of my favorite franchises, aka I only like one movie. Why did you just slap all this onto it?
I think you could play around with what's the excuse for the magic MacGuffin. It doesn't have to just be Egyptian ancient magic, question mark.
Yeah, it could be something else.
It could be like a witch thing, Or like,
How is that any different than a Pharaoh?
Well, I'm just saying, like, the time period
Don't they
doesn't
both hang out with cats?
No, that's the thing. It doesn't have to be
Don't
the same
they worry
exact...
about the sun and the moon and the stars? Are they not just witches?
Just, like, they both have great outfits.
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying it doesn't have to be the exact same, like, time period or, like, excuse. You could play around with it if you wanted. It could be a caveman thing. It could be an alien thing given to a caveman. You know? They could play around with what... They could write anything.
You play with fire.
I know. Every time someone's like, you can't write that. That would be unrealistic. And I'm like, they could do whatever they want.
I'll go as far as this. You're the reason why Prometheus got locked away.
I've never even seen Prometheus.
No, the god Prometheus.
Oh, my bad. Sorry, dude.
He was tortured for eternity for giving fire to the humans, depending on which story you believe in.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
That is
the
me.
giant eagle comes down and rips out his guts, and every morning they re-heal, and then he has to go through it again.
Is that Prometheus?
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah.
Bummer, bro.
Think twice. Hit anime series Solo Leveling is getting a live-action adaptation at Netflix. Too early to say anything. I just wanted to tell you guys, I haven't watched a single episode yet.
You keep talking about it,
Yeah.
but we haven't gotten around to it.
Yeah, it's okay.
We started watching this other completely different anime instead.
We're going to get there. Mahershala Ali, who is in Jurassic World Rebirth, he was supposed to be Blade.
Yes.
For the MCU Blade.
He's really good.
He is. He's a good actor. He's a great actor.
Mm-hmm.
If he's James Bond, I wouldn't be offended.
No, I'm
if Tom-
still have a lot of my chips on Idris Elba, but I would be okay with Mahershala Ali as well.
If Tom Hiddlesticks won, I'd be very upset, and I'd probably leave the franchise for good.
No, I wouldn't be into it much either.
Yeah, he could be Mr. White.
Okay, what about Mahershala? What has he done?
He said that Blade was so close to being done that they literally had all the costumes done in a warehouse, but then because of everything falling apart, the costume designer had a bunch of these, and she turned around and she went to Sinners, the production of Sinners.
I heard about this.
And they got to use the costumes.
That's crazy.
So what could have been in Blade was in Sinners.
Wow. Man, Mahershala deserves better.
Yes. And I thought that was interesting because it's funny that he's here in an interview with Jurassic World and he's talking about Sinners, which is next week's film review.
It's gonna be exciting. I can't wait.
Yep.
I hope it's gonna be good. I know it's gonna be good.
It will be. Jason Blum from Blumhouse.
Is it Blum or Bloom?
It's Blum.
Every single time I hear, everyone pronounces it differently.
It's Blum.
Okay.
Trust me.
Sure.
I checked twice.
I believe you.
Online.
I put my faith in you.
Anyways.
You like Jason Blum, where you completely change it right after.
So Jason Blum, he's been open about the box office failure of Megan 2.0.
I think he's taking it a bit too hard. I always suspected it was going to be...
Isn't he kind of in showbiz?
I guess, yeah.
So it's kind of his thing, right? I thought it was interesting that he was talking about how well the character was doing and the finances. That they're like, we can do anything with her. And he likened her to Superman.
That's fun.
They found out that this didn't work.
I think it would do better once it hits streaming.
It will.
Like, especially, I feel like horror especially is you need to cater to the home audience.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people want to go out to be freaked out.
Exactly. Superman.
Uh-huh.
That's what we're talking about now.
Oh, can I say one thing before we transition away?
Oh my god. Yes.
I want Megan and Five Nights at Freddy's to do a crossover.
I'm sure you have a potential there, yet the way he's talking about things, they're going to rework some stuff.
Come on, Jason, have faith. Anyway, now we can talk about Superman.
Superman. James Gunn's Superman, the first film of the DCU, is coming out this weekend. The reviews are in, and they're looking not so made of steel.
What do you mean? I've heard only glowing praise.
They're not super negative.
What?
But it's like positive to mid.
Last I saw, it was 91% on Rotten Tomatoes.
From the critics?
Yeah. From 55 reviews or something?
Or the audience?
I don't think audience can review it yet. Because it's not open to the public yet.
Okay. We'll find out.
But I've heard only good things.
Okay. Well, I'm very excited for it.
Mm-hmm.
And I get it. It's his first outing. And it's been 12 years since we got a Superman movie.
It's been a long time since we've had a Superman movie like this. Most of our lives of the DC has been dark and gritty and dramatic and serious because the Dark Knight set a standard.
Yes.
And they all tried to copy that. And so it's very, grim, dour. Superman's very, pushing the Jesus aesthetic a lot more.
Yep.
Which makes sense.
Well, no. He's an extraterrestrial. He's an immigrant. Mm-hmm. Right? Gunn made that clear in his conversation. Along with Sean, his brother. Right? Did you read what Sean had to say?
I did. I also know he's in the movie somewhere.
Yeah. He's Weasel.
Oh, right, yeah. He was, yeah.
But yeah, I liked what Sean had to say. I was like, yeah, go get him.
Get him, Sean.
Get him. Show him what it means. Anyways, Superman is really cool. And I'm more excited to see Superman have friends this time around.
It is going to be. I'm excited to have fun with Superman. My Adventures with Superman, the animated show,
yes,
proved that Superman can be cool and fun when he has cool, fun times and cool, fun friends.
Yep.
And we play around with other villains than just Lex Luthor and Zod.
If we stop looking at Superman the way that we commercially do, and we apply something called anime.
Yes.
We look at the character he's most similar to, and his name is Kakarot. Okay?
Yep.
These two... have you ever realized the parallels between Goku and Superman?
Well, you've talked about it ad nauseum ever since we first met. So
I grew up with Kakarot. I knew about superheroes and everything, but once I started to get into American comics in my early 20s, that was kind of my way of getting in there. I was like, I already love Batman, and then you got Superman, who's kind of like Goku, and then then you get into the lore and the mythos. It's really fun.
It is fun. It's very interesting.
It is.
It's interesting seeing how much we all inspire each other. And you're bringing up Goku, a Chinese myth from ancient China.
And he's a ripoff from something else.
We all are inspired by each other. The human race. Unity. Superman.
So, Hollywood Reporter claimed that the film needs to make $700 million to be successful.
Yeah, I don't know where they're pulling that number out of.
So, it cost about 250, maybe less, million to make the film, right?
Yeah.
In Hollywood standards, in order to break even, is twice.
Yeah, you have to
so
double
that's
it.
500 million.
Yeah.
Okay. And then after you broke even, everything else is a plus.
Yes.
So that 700 million does make sense. The thing is, it doesn't make sense for these guys to even say these numbers when, the algorithm, the tracking, what's going to happen. It's on track to make $1 billion.
Yeah.
And it's already blowing up.
It's those weird Snyder fans. And I don't know why they're so obsessed with Snyder's version of it all. It was boring, guys. It wasn't that good.
We're almost there. Hold on.
But also, if this fails, you're not going to get Zack Snyder back. He doesn't want to come back. If this fails, it just stops happening entirely.
Yeah. It's not going to fail. It's going to work. Yeah. I know it's going to work. Anyways, Gunn got a little upset about that. And what he was basically saying is, no, I just need people to go see the movie and talk about it.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, don't worry about that, bud. I got you covered.
I appreciate that Gunn will just, come out and be like, guys, stop being stupid. Yeah. Just be chill. Fuck. Yep.
And then Rick and Morty, the show that nobody wants to watch anymore, has made some comments about the two differances between the directors, Zack Snyder and James Gunn.
It's cute that they both came to, voice themselves. I bet they thought it was fun.
Did they really voice themselves?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
That's funny.
I bet they thought it was just fun.
Yeah,
Because Zack Snyder has openly said multiple times that he's excited for James Gunn's movies and wants to see them.
Yeah.
So, this weird, feud is just because of fans being weird.
Well, okay, we go back. This is my fourth Zack Snyder film I've did a review for, right? We got Rebel Moon.
Yep.
And the masterpiece Rebel Moon 2.
Oh, God.
And then we got the greatest zombie film so far, Dawn of the Dead.
Which was written by James Gunn.
Which is written by James Gunn. And then you got Man of Steel, which is his own Superman movie. And here, Gunn is going to do his own. So we get to compare the two, but not through brutality or malice.
Yeah.
But with fun and excitement. I like the way Zack approached Superman. No one else has ever done that. Let's be honest. No one has done that.
It's true.
You could say, well, it's because they did it wrong. No. Calm down. Those inner thoughts are aggressive. Those microaggressions are very negative. Move forward. Be positive. He just wanted everything to be serious. He wanted to take it in a tone, and it had a lot to do with the Dark Knight trilogy.
And he did succeed. He was fighting an uphill battle, taking a man with red tighty whities and spandex, and making him cool, making him serious and dramatic.
And he got rid of those tighty whities.
He did.
And they're not. They're red.
I said they're red.
Yeah, but
Red tighty whities with blue spandex.
Okay.
I'm not wrong.
Anyways. No, I like him without his underpants. But I've seen...
That's a crazy sentence out of context.
That's the name of the episode. I like him without his underpants. But, like, I'm looking at David Cornsweet, and I'm like, okay. I mean, you rock it. It's cool.
I like the red panties because it balances the look.
So we got a further dimension.
Without it, it's just really solidly blue, which kind of makes your eye like drag through the design. You end up just gonna stare at his cape the entire time because it's the biggest pop of color. But if you have red to like balance it out, then your eye can like move through the look a bit better.
The guy who plays him in Superman and Lois was talking about like the whole point of this undergarment, and it's to replicate when they first designed them, the original creators, to replicate a wrestler in the ring.
Yeah, 100%. Big strong mans.
I mean, when you bring it back to the like late 1800s, early 1900s, right? Then I realized what I'm arguing here is nonsensical.
You look at
but I'm just talking about fashion, and fashion is so flimsy.
Fashion changes constantly. It's fascinating. It used to be that boys wore dresses and boys wore pink because pink was closer to red and red was a man color, and girls wore blue.
And for about 2,000 years it was like that, and now it's finally flipped back.
And it used to be boys wore heels so they would be taller.
No, that's still there.
But now and now it's gotten to the point where anyone can kind of wear heels, and people like gender fluidly wear whatever they want.
Yep.
Fashion. It's fun. And I don't know why they always make the fashionista the annoying ones in children's cartoons. Fashion's fun.
Well, there's archetypes, and the diva plays right into that. So last week we had no question of the week, and that was because I couldn't think of one. Sometimes it feels like pulling teeth. This week I've got one. Who's excited for the DCU reboot?
Yeah.
Superman. And what are you most excited about?
I can tell you what I'm most excited about.
Yeah?
Mr. Terrific.
God, you stole mine.
He's so cool.
I'm too excited to see a live-action Mr. Terrific.
What do you
like,
mean?
I love...
We got Mr. Terrific in Arrowverse. He was there in the last few seasons.
Okay, you know what I meant.
Yes.
But no, I did like Mr. Terrific. That's how I got introduced to him.
This would be like if we got a live-action Static. Like, just been waiting.
Oh, keep dreaming that one. Come on.
No.
Come on. Everyone in the comments, you're full of poop.
Oh, there's licensing problems. They talked about it like yesterday. Oh, God.
For what?
It's not entirely owned by DC. Static or Warner Brothers. There's a licensing thing. I don't remember what it was exactly, but it's like half owned. It's kind of like Mario RPG. Like, it's owned by Nintendo, but some of the stuff, because the people over at Final Fantasy, Square Enix, worked on it, they half own it, so licensing is weird. But I don't remember the specifics of it. I just remember Static Shock isn't getting new things despite the public outcry because of licensing stuff. It's like Hulk, to make it more topical to this conversation.
Okay, yeah, you probably should have started with that analogy.
My bad.
Yeah. That's interesting. Way to lose out on Static. I would have built up the money and bought them.
Yes.
Because why would I?
Oh, he's so good.
I want to talk about so many DC things right now. The DC podcast is next week. Okay. There was a half thought in my mind to not do this podcast today.
Yeah. Well, here we are, 49 minutes in.
It's 49 minutes in, and I've told you the guy who made Lord of the Rings went crazier than you thought. He's going to bring back giant birds. Only for his island, which I guess is a good thing.
He can keep them on that island.
You keep them over there. That's yours, bud.
It's called foul for a reason. I don't want it.
Anyways, that would be the question of the week. Probably rephrased a little better. Mm-hmm. Box office trolls.
Box office trolls.
Okay, number 1, Jurassic World Rebirth coming in at $147 million.
So
that's only domestic here in the North America.
We'll see if Superman can top it next week.
So the critics attacked this movie, and I've talked to a few people who've seen it, and they're like, it's good. And the biggest hint was given to me from a coworker, where she said it doesn't follow the Jurassic World movies.
Oh.
It follows the Jurassic Park movies.
Oh, yeah, I've heard kind of like blasé critic reviews, and I'm like, what did you expect we were gonna get?
Yeah.
Like, what do you... I'm sorry, it's not doing anything different? Yeah, it's Jurassic Park.
Well, she was like, we didn't see the last Jurassic World, and I was like, yeah, Dominion. And she's like, yeah, but I saw the one before that where the dinosaurs died in a volcano. And then she just stared off in the distance, sad. And I was like, yeah, I guess everybody feels that way, regardless of what age you are.
You know, I had forgotten about that. And that's what made me stop caring about that movie. Because we talked about this like a couple of days ago together. Because I was like, I don't even remember most of the second one.
Yeah, Fallen Kingdom.
Because I remember I just went to bed at one point and I didn't finish half of it. That's what it was. Yeah. That pissed me off and I didn't want to watch it.
It's what stops most people. They're like, I don't want to watch the dinosaurs die again. And it's like, yeah, I get it. And I was like, there's nothing to miss in Dominion because the bad guy is insects.
It's so stupid.
And just a little thing, just to catch up on this. So I did my Jurassic World review, right? Mm-hmm. And you know how Indominus comes out and she's like, hi, I'm here to beat everybody up.
Yeah.
And then Blue's like, I'll try. And then T-Rex comes out and then we get to do a little like Smash Bros moment.
Yep.
You know, but it's always a big predator against another big predator. Jurassic Park 3, big predator against... It's always just predator against predator, right?
Yeah.
In Dominion, it was Gigantosaurus versus T-Rex. And the humans, all our characters are stuck in the middle. And then Dr. Alan Grant's like, I don't think this is about us. And then they run away.
It's so dumb.
I hadn't watched the whole movie. I just saw the clip because it came up on my YouTube stuff, the algorithm. And I was just watching it and I was just like, I hate this movie already.
I don't want to watch it. I love dinosaurs.
Yeah.
How dare you?
Now, the thing with Jurassic World Rebirth, I think it's cool that people are saying it's more like Jurassic Park.
I like the dinos we're gonna get Quetzalcoatlus.
Quetzalcoatlus was in Dominion.
Oh, well, but that movie was bad.
Yeah.
So we went to a
retry.
We went to a dinosaur museum a couple years ago.
Yeah.
And there was a big old Quetzalcoatlus, and it was cool. I had the time of my life.
They are big flying reptiles.
I loved every single part of that. That was the best thing.
The one thing I asked her, I was like, what'd you think of the D-Rex? And she just looked at me with that thousand-eyed stare again, but like of fear. And she was like, it reminded me of every monster I've seen in a horror movie.
Dang, that's cool.
And then she was like, my daughter kept telling me, think beluga whale, trying to explain its head.
Oh.
And I was like, well, I don't know about that, right? Because I this time I haven't spoiled anything.
Okay.
But I was like, the producers were thinking xenomorph, the alien. And then she stopped and had that like 2,000 miles.
It's like, oh my God.
And she was like, that's even scarier.
It opens its mouth and then the tongue is another head.
Okay, yeah. Number 2, F1 the movie. This Formula 1 you were talking about?
Yeah.
This is also MGM Studios, which is just recently bought by Amazon. This is their biggest movie of to date.
Oh.
The Accountant 2.
M. Goldwyn Mayer.
Yes.
I remember because their logo showed up on something, like a trailer,
Yep.
and they brought back the lion, and I was like, whoa. Crazy.
That is their logo. Number 3, How to Train Your Dragon.
Yeah,
It is
crazy.
commercially successful.
They're doing, speaking of Burger King, there's Burger King ads now.
Yep.
With that kid who plays Hiccup. He looks a lot like a Hiccup. Like, I thought it was just a kid for the ad, like a greasy Burger King guy. And then I was looking at him, I was like, no, that is the kid. That was a good casting choice.
That's Hiccup?
That's him, yeah.
Oof. Anyways, number 4, Elio.
Yeah.
55 million. Number 5, 28 years later.
Yeah.
Number 6, Megan 2.0.
Dang, second weeks in? Go to streaming. That's where horror lives.
Number 7, Lilo and Stitch live action.
How's it only been... Go, hit streaming already.
It's because all the new movies are going to start coming out. They're going to push these guys out, okay?
Yeah.
Number 8, Mission Impossible Final Reckoning, which also came out the same day as Lilo.
It's insane that they have been neck and neck with each other. They have been, every single time, they're right next to each other.
Yeah, but they're not really, because Lilo and Stitch is at 408 mil, and Mission Impossible is at a very sincere 191 mil.
Oof, ooh, ooh. Well, more people... There's more kids than adults. Kids and adults want to watch Lilo. Only adults care about Mission Impossible. And also, who cares about the questionable last one of a franchise that doesn't even mark it as the last one?
It says final.
That doesn't change anything. Every single one of those games is called Final Fantasy. They keep making new ones.
Good point. They never stopped. No, you gotta go through 8 movies to get to this moment.
Yeah, and the 8th movie was not good.
That was the 7th one.
Woof.
Number 9, The Materialist.
Okay.
And number 10, This is Spinal Tap, 41st anniversary.
Wow,
So
cool.
I guess no matter when your birthday is, it's an anniversary and you can just re-release whatever shit you got.
Hey, do we have anything? Just put it in the theaters. Who cares? Do you think people will watch it? Go, peasants.
Yeah.
Crazy choosing
Go
Spinal
Ninja
Tap.
Go. They're choosing cult classics.
I mean, I guess.
I think they're trying to get their money back for how much they sucked originally.
To hold on to the rights to Spinal Tap.
Yeah. Well, they're making Spinal Tap too.
Are they really?
Yeah.
No way.
I don't ask for this and I don't make this shit up.
And you're like, yeah, I'm lying. You're right. There is no way.
This is the way. Okay. The anime show we watched this week.
We only watched the first episode. There's
Lord-
only 3.
Yes, for now.
Mm-hmm.
Lord of Mysteries.
It's different. It's Chinese. That you can, if you listen to a lot of Japanese anime, you can hear it. Chinese sounds nothing like Japanese.
I'm pretty sure everyone here knows what Japanese sound like.
Well, I'm just saying. I knew there was differences, but it became much more clear as I was listening to it.
The core audience of this podcast are nerds like us.
Yeah.
Right. So, like, you can switch in between. I'm just saying. Okay.
What did you think of the first episode?
Okay, first of all, I'm going to make this very clear. I'd rather listen to people speaking in Chinese than Japanese all day.
When we watched Disney's horrible live action Mulan, we were looking for Chinese dub in like the subtitles and stuff, and there wasn't one.
Yeah.
Garbage.
I love Chinese lore. I love Chinese myth. Obviously, Wukong, Ice Fantasy,
Yep.
Stephen Chow,
Anything Steven's done.
General Ming's Chicken.
The Chinese got it all figured out, man. Don't know what to tell you. They're cool. They got good stuff.
They do. And this is a very beautifully animated anime.
It's confusing.
It's very confusing. We only watched, well, obviously it's called Mysteries. So, like, you're going to come in and you thought it was A to B? No, there's A alpha and A2.
It immediately introduces a complex kind of magic system that you can obtain, but it also immediately introduces us to a character who is he uses the word transmogrified into a different person's body from a different world, and he has to slowly piece together their own mythos, who he's embodying, how he can get his life back, and also new, confusing powers he's seemingly gotten from that confusing thing I mentioned in the beginning.
Yeah. There are multiple dimensions within one story, so that also adds to the confusingness. We only saw one episode.
Yes.
All I'm going to say is it was pretty. I'm going to keep watching. I want to keep seeing more.
Oh, hell yeah. It demands you to pay attention if you want to know what's happening.
Yes.
But also, it's at the same time...
No English dub.
You need to turn your brain off and just accept what you're seeing.
Yep.
You need to just, take it at face value. You can't sit there and question everything. You just need to go with the flow.
Yep.
It's exciting. I can't wait to watch the rest of it.
Nice.
I've been thinking about it ever since.
So, we watched Sandman Season 2. Mm-hmm. And the next morning, after we watched all 6 episodes,
Yes.
I found out that was only half the season.
Yeah.
So when we watched it, and a lot of our critiques are based on just, oh, that was the season, 6 hours of this.
We thought that was the end.
Yes.
It's...
Okay.
that heavy emptiness between our lines
No.
tells you a lot.
I liked it.
Yeah.
There are negative things, but it's not a, hey, guys, don't come check this out. This is a letdown. No, it's not. It's just, there is a major lack of action, and you're going to find that out by episode 3.
Yes.
Because once you get there and you find out the war is not happening, you just get really upset.
Episode 3 was my favorite. I really liked it. It was like a unique spin on a locked room mystery, kind of.
Yeah, well, it's more of a drama this time around.
It is.
There's still emotion. There's still violence.
Mm-hmm. But it's not like in the first one, Dream was going out of his way to, tackle things.
Yeah, he was proactive.
In this one, I'm not going to... The word languid comes to mind.
I was going to say mediator.
It's more like he's moving forward with the flow of the river.
Yeah.
He's trying to achieve certain goals, but he's not forcing. Mm-hmm. He's not fighting to achieve them. He's just seeing how they play out.
There are moments where Dream is so cool. He's a cool guy. He cares about people. Mm-hmm. And then these 6 episodes will tell you, the people that he proclaims to love, the dude's a total douchebag.
He's a huge dick.
He's the dad who walked out the door, but he didn't tell you he's buying cigarettes.
Yeah.
He just never came back. He didn't even bother looking at you.
There are moments where he is sweet. When he in his own weird way, he does reassure his sister Delirium, which we get to meet Delirium, Destiny. We meet all of them, the Eternal siblings. He assures her, yes, I do like you. It doesn't, if you just read the text alone, it wouldn't sound like it. But the actor's very good. Mm-hmm. And he has a very charming little smile. Yeah. He barely gets to do it as Dream.
We get to learn about his first wife. We get to learn about his first son.
Yes. We
get a little more exposure with his friends.
Yeah.
He gets a new concubine.
She isn't. That was the intention, but when they were giving her to him, but he's not going to do that.
No. She's just going to be part of his weird, eclectic group of oddities.
Yeah, like Lucien and Cain and Abel.
Yeah.
And the farmer guy with a pumpkin head.
The jack-o'-lantern?
Yeah.
Anyways.
Matthew is Raven.
Yes, who he calls by... Just not Matt, it's Matthew.
No, it's Matthew. It's like the biblical Matthew.
Yeah. With the H and everything.
Yes.
Yeah. Finding out that wasn't just the end of it, because I accepted that on face value, I was like, that wasn't that good.
Yeah. Knowing there's more, I'm like, oh, hell yeah.
So later... Not this week, but next week, it's the next 5 episodes. And then the last weekend of this month, to make it more confusing, is the last episode.
Which is it's a Netflix thing. They're trying this with both Stranger Things, famously, a horrible decision. Yep. Having it come out, on Boxing Day and then on New Year's Eve.
What is Boxing Day?
That's the day after Christmas. It's more celebrated in, Europe and Canada, I believe.
Oh, so it's people that don't matter.
Boxing Day, I don't know why they call it that. It's an important holiday.
Time to pack that shit in and go home.
It's getting ready for Christmas, I'm pretty sure.
Christmas has already happened.
No. What am
Why are you pulling the decorations back out, bro?
I knew it was called Boxing Day. I've done my part.
I'm making fun. I used to know the meaning of Boxing Day, and it's not there.
No.
It's in like October, November.
Dang. Oh, and also Wednesday, like we mentioned. Wednesday's gonna start next month, but
Wednesday's
only half.
in every month.
Shut up. Oh my god. Boo.
Sorry, I saved all the bad jokes for this moment. But yeah, they're doing the same thing with Netflix, where they're just like, I don't know, you show up, you get a few episodes, maybe come back later. And it's like, well, I wanted all of them now. And they're like, tough luck.
It's also...
But it's like, you're the parent that taught me
You started this.
that if I put my hand in the cookie jar, I could eat all the cookies. And they're like, yeah.
It's also...
And now, you're overweight.
I think it's also confusing, because there is nothing anywhere that implied there was more episodes to come for Sandman. There was no,
it was,
teaser at the end.
It was Badum. You had to, like, participate in Badum, which was their announcement thing, their E3 thing.
But I feel like if I got to the end of the episodes, there should have been a thing like Sandman will continue on July whatever.
Oh, so you need the MCU to help you.
Yeah, like, if I got to the end, I wonder how many people are going to watch half of the season, or even half of Wednesday, or half of Stranger Things, or whatever, and think that was the full season, because they're so used to the binge culture of Netflix. And also Netflix is so, like, inconsistent. Like, it'll be, like, new episodes when it's episodes you've already watched. How many people are not going to realize there are more? Yeah. I think it was a terrible decision.
It was. And for me to find that out, like, I'm more excited. I have more stuff to watch later on, but I have to wait.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why did I binge all of that? Like, yesterday, when we had already binged all of it the day before,
yeah,
I was sitting there going, I'm bored. So what did we watch? The one show I didn't want to watch.
What did we watch?
Ironheart.
Oh, yeah, we did. It wasn't bad. It was
atrocious. For anyone who said She-Hulk sucks.
Oh my god.
I want to fight you.
This She-Hulk was leagues better than this.
Dude.
I didn't hate Ironheart. It didn't start getting interesting until the last 2 episodes.
No, it got worse.
It's so at odds with itself. That's the biggest thing.
I've got so many issues, like, I don't even feel publicly okay talking about it. Like, why did her friend have to die that way?
And the thing is, the stuff with Natalie was the most interesting part. That was the part that seemed to have, like, the most, like, heart behind it.
Yeah.
But then every time we cut away to the gang of weird criminals she briefly associated herself with for some reason, it just made...
But her choices by the end show that she's not a good guy. She's a self-centered brat.
It's also they left us off at a cliffhanger. We don't even know if that was ever real or not. And then the end credits scene was another cliffhanger, where we don't know if he ever got back in touch with magic. Yeah. It was conflicting.
Here's my thing. You get a 1 out of 5 because you attempted to do something, and I watched it, and I guess it was suitable to watch. But you can't tease me with Technivore, and then just piss in the pool.
Also introduce Mephisto right at the very end.
Well, Mephisto was introduced earlier, but yeah.
It was so... there was no, like, moment. Like, the moment.
Yeah.
Right?
No.
There was nothing... It was all filmed at, like, nighttime. So every scene is dark and hard to see. And yeah, her suit's silver, but it's like... I want to see you.
Well, most of the time when I was looking at her suit, I was like, it's not even there. That's just CGI. When it was sitting on her bed, I was like, when Tony wore his suit, right? There was a special one that he could wear or a stunt double could wear where they could just sit there and lounge.
And I bet it cost way more money to CG the suit into all these scenes.
Time.
Rather than just build it. They had plenty of time. This was supposed to come out 3 years ago.
Yep.
You could have built anything by this point.
Yeah, and I love that nobody watched Agatha because they didn't like magic, so they decided to put magic in Ironheart.
It's also, all the conflicts in Ironheart. Like, the reason she joins the squad of criminals is because she needs money, and I'm like, get a job. You have an iron suit. Save people. Go to the police.
Well,
Go to the Avengers.
So in their universe, right? Wade Wilson went to Foggy. Sorry, what's his name? Happy.
Yes.
different universe. And didn't
similar. there's a Venn diagram.
and didn't make it, right?
Yeah.
She could have just walked up to him and been like, "Hey, I got an Iron Man suit. Can I help?"
Yeah, Deadpool.
And then
in Deadpool's movie, Deadpool and Wolverine, he's getting an interview.
Yeah.
With Happy Hogan.
Yeah.
She could have done that. She's in this annoying thing where they're like, oh, she spent like 5 years at college building the stupid suit, and it's to excuse away why she hasn't been a character for 5 years.
Yeah.
But I think it just makes her seem incredibly inactive. Her first response being join a gang of criminals.
Yep.
Seems like she's just picking stuff at random. Like, there were so many other options available to you. And that happens throughout the entire series, where every conflict happens because she just kind of picks the thing in front of her. And it's like, you're supposed to be a genius. Apply to a job. You have an iron suit. You could do so many things.
It's mind-boggling how bad and shittily rushed this is. Luckily, it's only 6 episodes, but trust me, you're going to be staring at your phone most of the time. And don't expect any cool cameos.
No.
Do not expect it. The bad guy, the Hood.
Yeah, he was okay, but then the last few episodes, he went off the rails.
I don't even know why you're trying to defend this show. I really don't. It's terrible.
I was just put it under the umbrella of it was boring, which is crazy for a superhero franchise. You have superpowers and a mech suit and magic, and Cree Summer, the best girl ever, and it was boring.
It is the worst Marvel TV show I've seen since season 2 of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Dang.
Okay, moving on. Man of Steel.
Yeah.
Yes, I made the review. It's there.
It's good.
It is good. Wait, you saw it?
No.
Yeah, okay.
But I'm hyping you up. I didn't watch it yet.
Okay, so that probably explains why the numbers are low, and I'll probably just stop doing these from now on.
No. Everything you told me about while you were working on it sounded good.
No, it is a good review, and I'm trying to just get to the basics. But honestly, as I was watching it and everything was starting to make sense to me, I was like, I'd rather watch the sequel.
Yeah.
There's no reason to watch episode 4 when you can watch episode 5 and get it all in a gist, you know? Like, he's a loser kid that bitches about living on a desert planet. Now you're thrown into this cool sci-fi fantasy and you're still bitching about it.
It's like when you watch, like, the Previously On, and it, like, summarizes everything, and you're like, oh, I could have just skipped that episode.
Yeah, I guess I didn't have to see that one. I like Man of Steel. Again, nobody else will do it differently, but I am very excited for Superman.
Yes.
If you haven't seen the review, please check it out. Please.
Yeah, do it.
I don't want to sound desperate. No, I'm very confused. What I'm talking about here is how a Jurassic World review comes out.
Yeah.
And at this time, it's like 1.8 thousand
Nice.
views. And then Superman's sitting over here at like 25.
Sometimes it's what day of the week it comes out.
It's same day.
I don't know.
Different week.
It's confusing. Did you put tags on it?
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
I graffitied the hell out of it.
I wish I could tell you. I wish I knew all the answers, because I'd be doing them for myself, too.
Maybe I reviewed the wrong movie. Anyways, it's there. My goal is, because I know the DCU will be successful, every time James Gunn drops, I was going to say a movie, then I would do a DCEU movie review. But because Supergirl is the next movie, which is next year, and I'm like, that's going to take way too long.
It might be for, like, Peacemaker?
Yeah, Peacemaker is next month, August.
Ah.
Yes, so Peacemaker Season 2 is going to be on HBO.
Peacemaker versus Wednesday? That's going to be tough choosing which one to watch first. What do you mean?
You know what side of the pond I stand on.
I know. I'm excited for both.
And I've got a gun in my hand.
Wednesday would get a gun, too.
No, she wouldn't.
No, you're right. She would choose like a sword or something.
Yeah.
Something slower.
Yeah.
Gun
She'd
would
be
too
like
fast.
read from a spell book, and it'd take her way too long to. Anyway.
She would roll her eyes and be ennui at you.
Yeah. I do love Man of Steel. The only problem is it's interesting to start with Zod, yet never establish anything about Superman's personal life other than his family trauma.
Yeah. I mean, I appreciated that they did not Lex Luthor, because there's a billion Lex Luthors out there, and Zod was a nice change of pace.
I still think the script is kind of based on Batman Begins, and
Yes.
that's why it is. So then the sequel could take on
Yes.
Batman and Lex. How The Dark Knight has Harvey Dent and Joker.
Yes.
You know, they're very much copying themselves. Anyways, what are you doing this week?
I'm working on a review for Snow White, the
Yes, you
live-action one.
Nice.
I'm comparing it to the original because I like comparing things. How fun! It's gonna be. I can't wait.
Okay. This Saturday we're back with Wukong.
Yeah.
I beat Yellow Long without you guys, and that was hard. But I'm ready. I'm ready to continue forward with the story. We're going to have fun.
Hell yeah.
We're going to march our way into the last chapter. I don't think we'll beat it, but we will get really close.
Nice.
I've beaten every boss except for the 2 that I'll fight tomorrow or Saturday, and the bad guys of the next chapter. Except for one where I couldn't go back because it was a one-time chance thing.
You missed it. You have to go to your next playthrough.
So, oh well, I gotta play this game again.
Oh, can I talk about the game I've been playing?
Yeah.
I got Ni no Kuni. It was on sale for the summer Steam sale. It was like $7.
Ooh.
I got the definitive edition, so I got special familiars. I love it. It's an ugly game.
I love it.
It looks. It's the thing. It looked really great at the time, but now, like in this day and age, several years later, I'm like, oh, there is quite a lot of ugliness with these character models. But it's trying to replicate Studio Ghibli's art style.
Yeah.
And it was going to be tough. No matter, it looks really good still. It's just when you get like real close to characters' faces where you're like, eh. But it's a really fun game. It's cute. I just needed a level grind because I'm at that one area where you need a level grind before you get there. Autumna with Hamlin, Swain.
Nice.
That's the homeless man that joined my team.
Yeah. Awesome. So that was Coffee Break. It's a hot summer. Stay hydrated.
Yes.
We care about you guys. You got a Snow White review looking forward to.
Woo!
You got a Sinners review looking forward to.
Woohoo!
Wukong, we're coming back. This is episode 181.
Yeah. We're almost to 200.
I'm still amazed we went this far.
Me too.
I'm like, dude, when do you stop? And I'm like, I guess I don't.
I guess when the news stops.
Grim thoughts.
Bye.
Bye. Testing.
Testing. Testing.